Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Big Apple Baseball Banter. Today we will be discussing the most overrated, underrated player but on every team and how to fix the draft. Let's banter. All right, welcome back to another episode of Big Apple Baseball Banter. Episode number 8, joined by Elias and
Ben.
He's back. Let's go. Yeah, I did a solo episode. Kind of boring, honestly. I listened back to it, man. I sounded dead. I was like, yeah, so like the Mets and stuff. I don't know. I might have been tired or something. I don't even know, but good to have you back, man. We got some
Good to be back.
stuff to talk about. So, I talked last time. I addressed the Charlie Morton news, so I'm kind of bummed about that because the Braves were looking really good.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of funny that they paid $11 million for Drew Smiley because they could have just had one of their younger guys who's basically as good as Drew Smiley, but
Yeah.
But
Ian Anderson's gonna be a stud.
oh yeah, he's probably gonna be like their third pitcher, and he might they kind of have like 3 potential aces
Oh yeah.
if you include Charlie Morton. Like
I was thinking Soroka, Freed, and then Anderson.
yeah, and then Charlie Morton, you add him to that mix.
There's 4.
Yeah, so it's gonna be crazy. I hate it,
Jeez.
but oh well. So first, let's talk about how to fix the MLB draft because the MLB draft is terrible. Simple as that. It's and like it's not a very good system, first of all, and for an entertainment aspect, it's awful. Like there's no entertainment value to it at all. So here's a couple things. So MLB needs. The one thing Rob Manfred has done is shorten the draft. I don't get why you need 40 rounds. I keep it around 7, kind of like what the NFL does. And
I think 10 would be good.
10 solid. I think the most important thing you need to do, in my opinion, is you need to take away all the financial crap about it. Like in my opinion, this is how it should work. A player has to formally declare for the draft. It's not like, oh, they play in high school, so they're automatically in it. And if you get drafted, you are signing. There's no, oh, I didn't get the money I wanted. You're signing.
Yeah.
Like we're not having Kyler Murray situations where oh wait, no, I'm gonna go back to college to play football. Oh wait, I'm really good at football. Oh wait, okay, yeah, here's the $4 million. Here's my signing bonus. Here you can have it back. I'm gonna go be a stud in the NFL. Like you have to formally declare for the draft.
And once you do that, you can't go back.
Yeah, you're signed. It's like you never see a story about someone in another sport just like not signing or whatever. And there's top 5 picks who don't sign because they're not getting the money they want. And then you also got guys like there's the tight end for the Falcons, Hayden Hurst. He originally was a baseball player, and he dropped to like round 17 because there was a rumor that he wasn't going to sign for anything less than like $3 million or something.
Wow.
So that's the one thing I hated because like kids just like you got the Mark Appels who ended up being a bust with Houston, but he got picked by Pittsburgh 6th overall, and he just said, nope, I'm going back to school. Like how it works in the NFL is how it should work. You can declare for the draft and then you decide to go back to college, but once you hire a formal like professional agent, that's when you can't go back. But that's before you get drafted, not when you get drafted and then there's a deadline to get signed. And another thing with the whole financial aspect is that like teams are limited on who they can pick based on based on how much money they have to spend. Like for example, the Mets last year.
Signing.
Yeah, that's different, I think. But for a good example for this is like the Mets last year, like picked 2 studs in the first 2 rounds and then picked some really low end guys in like the 3rd round, like some undrafted caliber guy, like not undrafted normal years, but more like 7th round caliber in the 3rd round because they couldn't afford everyone. So I just hate that. I think it should be everyone gets the same salary. And
I like that.
based on where you're picked. It's not like an
Yeah,
undrafted
yeah.
guy should make more than the first overall pick. And then there should be a set signing bonus for that pick. Okay. So
hmm
you should be that motivated to try to prove yourself to be that high pick.
And
That's kind of
then
how
no
I feel
matter
about it.
what, you can't go back to school and then look
Yeah,
for more money.
yeah. And
I like that.
the way to improve that is this. Players are looking for all that money is because you make nothing in the minor leagues. So you have to
Yeah.
increase the minor league salary or
hmm
don't go to the minor leagues, which that's kind of more of a radical thing to think about. Like, eliminate the minor leagues. And what I think the MLB really needs to do is promote college baseball too. Like, hype up the
Yes.
draft. The NFL is
Yes.
amazing at doing that, man. Like we're like not even halfway through the season and there's mock drafts every week. There's, hype for these guys, like I'm already looking into the NFL draft. And now part of it is this. Obviously, with the MLB draft, guys don't have an immediate impact.
hmm
A lot of guys are busts, which
Yeah.
but a bust in football or basketball, you actually got to see them play at the professional or at the highest level. A
hmm
bust in baseball usually never actually played.
Yeah.
So they just have to improve. That's just the thing that annoys me the most. But from an entertainment aspect, they need to market college baseball, and it's also tough to be familiar with prospects with if there's high school prospects. But MLB, they have on their MLB pipeline has like the big board for draft prospects, but like put out some content about like each of the guys, put some highlights,
hmm
just get guys familiar with the draft. Get guys like us making mock drafts because I don't know, unless you're putting out a bunch of stats. I'm not a I've talked about it. I don't play baseball. I don't know how to analyze swings or anything. I don't really, you know, I can say a swing looks cool, but I don't really know.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I
that's
don't know
pretty
if it's
good.
good or not. Like I like Michael Conforto's swing, but you know, um, but or I think a pitch is like nasty, but I don't know like mechanical shit. So
Oh,
putting
I
out,
can tell you that.
yeah. Oh, I know you're good with that, but like for me, I'm a I analyze through stats. So
Yeah.
MLB needs to find a way to put out some stats. Also, I don't know anywhere to find where to watch college baseball.
Oh,
Like
I had like Sling last year, and they broadcasted like one or two games.
okay, yeah.
That's how we watch college basketball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the NCAA also does a garbage job promoting college baseball, and I've seen clips of it. It looks fun. Like
Yeah.
it looks like it's fun to watch. It's just like no one cares, so which is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So anything else to improve? And yeah, just televise. I like the way they televised it last year. It wasn't, they actually televised it on ESPN, not in like
Oh.
the MLB
hmm
Network live from Secaucus with the
Okay,
MLB.
MLB Network.
Yeah, dude, the MLB draft, like in past years, compared to like the hype and like the visuals of the other drafts is pathetic. It's
It
before
really is,
before
though.
before Manfred, you had who's the commissioner before him? I forgot, but he's like with. Let me do my best impression. Give me a player. I don't know. Aaron Judge. What was
Uh,
he? 31st overall or something?
Something like that.
With the 31st pick in the 20-something first-year player draft, the New York Yankees select Aaron Judge, an outfielder from I don't even know,
The
somewhere in
West region,
somewhere in California, right?
California.
Yeah, and then the next team has the next selection, and they are now on the clock, and then it's just golf claps. Like NFL, it's you say the first like the player's first name syllable, people start losing their shit. They're like, wow, oh, like Trevor Lawrence, like MLB, you have to wait for him to tell you that the next team has the next pick. Yeah, I think we kind of know the next team has the pick because the orders, sort of,
Set,
announced.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
order's kind of set. So they need to do that. They the they have to like promote the event as like a public event. Sell tickets. And they need to fly
Mhm.
the kids out. Some of these
Oh,
top
for
prospects out.
sure.
Like the first year they did it in Secaucus, the one player who came was Mike Trout. Um,
Well, I mean, that's a pretty good player to come out.
yeah, To be fair,
Not at the
yes.
moment, though.
Why?
Because nobody knew who he was.
That's true. Yeah. Well, he was like the what 20 something. I think he was
25th, 26th
25.
pick,
Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Which yeah, they need to get most of the dudes out there. Usually, you just have a few dudes just chilling in the dugout. Like in 2019, they were able to announce all the players present. I think that's an issue if you have time to announce all the players present. And also, it's funny back when they did 40 rounds, MLB would post like a 100-hour long, not obviously 100 hours, but like a enormous video. Here, I'll look it up on every pick, and like some of it's broadcasted. And I was curious, what do they do when it gets to like round 30 something?
That nobody signs out
Yeah,
there. It's just low caliber high school players that they think they can get a steal from.
or it's players from other sports. So Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be a first round pick.
Oh, what your audio just cut out.
Oh yeah, is this good?
Yeah.
Shit. All right. So Patrick Mahomes wanted to be a first round pick. He was going to be a first round pick because he was a great high school pitcher. He could also hit too, but they knew he was going to go to college to play, football. So the Detroit Tigers still took him in like the 30th round. So that's like another issue. Shout out to Draft Neck Mark. He made a whole video about players, football players who played baseball who got drafted by MLB teams. There's guys who had no intent of playing baseball. Michael Vick was drafted by the Rockies in like the 40th round, and he hadn't played baseball since middle school. But because he was a good athlete, like this is why you need to shorten the draft because these are just throwaway picks. Here, let me find. It's called like catch every pick of the 2019 MLB draft.
And I want to know how many people have just like watched that entire video.
So the video is 14 hours, 23 minutes,
Holy
and 42
shit.
seconds. There's the top comment on there says, I think it says like mad respect to anyone who watched the whole thing. But I scrolled it to the end, and it's just them. It says this: whoever watches this whole thing, you earn my respect. So towards the end too, it's not even televised. It's just the New York Mets select ID number 15678 player, school. So yeah, like what do we say? 10 rounds?
Yeah.
I think 10 rounds just because you're not only getting kids out of college, you're getting kids out of high school too. So and I think also to make it appeal more, like get more kids to play baseball, I think you need to kind of try to shorten their time in the minor leagues. I don't think you should go, straight from college to, Major League Baseball because that would be crazy having like
that
new guys on your baseball team every year. It's only a 26-man roster, or what was it, like 30-something last year. Like you have the, Garrett Crochet last year of the White Sox didn't play a single minor league game. And
I mean, not everybody throws 101 with
that's true.
Like, consistency.
Yeah. But yeah, there's occasionally the guys who barely stay in the minor leagues. I don't think Bryce Harper was in the minor leagues for very long at all.
Nah, I mean, when you're drafted first out of high school, it's hard to stay in the minors.
Oh yeah, he was in high school. Yeah, that's right. Well, he got drafted as a catcher too. Or no, he played catcher. He might have gotten drafted as an outfielder.
Really? Wow, I did not know
I know
that.
he played catcher, but
I know Kenley Jansen was a catcher.
Yeah, he was, and he's in Curacao, and then they moved him over to pitcher. And then he became a stud. But yeah, so I think that's kind of all we have to talk about the draft. Just
Oh wait, one more thing.
Oh yeah.
I think they shouldn't make it in the middle of June anymore.
Yes, make it before the season. Make it before the
season. Or during the
yeah.
college playoffs. Maybe in the college baseball like prime location, wherever the finals are played. I don't even know where they're played.
College baseball. So the College Baseball World Series played at TD Ameritrade Park. I don't know how I know that. It's in Omaha, Nebraska. So,
okay.
Which is like it's always been there. So it's like it's cool because they have like a spot where it's there. It would be cool to host it at the stadium.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
And because you don't
like on the field itself, and then have the players run out from the dugout.
Yeah, you could do that, or that's what the NFL has done. Like I know in 2018 they had the the Cowboys Stadium, which it's an indoor stadium, so that helps too. But maybe you
Mm-hmm.
do it near, just like you don't have to deal with the rain or anything. But
Yeah.
something I think they should actually do it at is so with the new Globe Life Field in Arlington, there's a venue next door called Texas Live, which is like a music venue, and it's right next to the stadium. That would be a cool spot to host it. That just came to
That'd be
my
a very
mind.
nice spot.
So yeah, just a cool venue, not some shit. Well, it's not a shitty studio. It's a nice studio, but why are you having 5 kids come out to a baseball production studio with you know Harold and the boys, um yeah, they need a and I think they should do it maybe after the College World Series, just because I don't think the draft is really on the mind if there's players, well, it's obviously going to be on their mind, but they're focused on winning a College World Series, like.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
That's first priority.
definitely. All right, so segueing, we have a little bit of Mets news. If this happens, I'm actually going to be pissed about it. So, reports are that Bartolo Colon wants to sign a 1-year deal with the Mets and
Oh
retire
man.
a Met, which I'm happy to hear he wants to retire a Met. He's played for like every other team, so I'm glad he's like to stay on the Mets. But absolutely not. This is you know, if was a crap team, then yeah, bring on Bartolo Colon, bring on Tim Tebow, which Sandy Alderson said in a press conference that Tim Tebow's coming back to spring training. So let's see if he gets
Let's
his
go.
shot this year. Yeah, I remember on one of our previous shows, you were like, "Your farm system isn't bad. You got Tim Tebow." I'm like, "Yep,
Yeah.
we do." But yeah, we're not setting Bartolo Colon. He's like 46. If you want to come play in AAA and then or throw out the first pitch and then retire, like just suit up in the uniform and just don't pitch a game. That cool. But no, this is a team that needs to be taken seriously, not some joke team that has 46-year-old pitchers who haven't played in 2 years come back and make their final outing. So
Well, excuse me. Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I love Bartolo, but I'm not wasting. We're not going to throw away a game for Bartolo Colon to give up 10 runs. Sorry,
Jeez.
Bartolo. No harsh feelings, man. But I'd
That
rather have
hurt
some.
me, man.
Yeah. So other news. So Yasiel Puig recently signed with an agency, Rachel Luba, Trevor Bauer's agent. You guys probably know.
Hmm.
And so he said he's ready to come back to the major leagues. And I actually had a conversation last night. Shout out to Mets fans only. Me and him. He made a YouTube video. Should the Mets sign Yasiel Puig? And we talked about it. I said in the comments, basically, absolutely not. It's nothing really against Puig. It's just corner outfield is not a position of need. If it's bench corner outfield, then sure. But we don't need another. He wants to start. So we
Yeah.
don't need a starting corner outfield. And I absolutely despise when people call baseball players head cases or whatever. Like people called Trevor Bauer a head case because he threw a ball over the wall. But dude, Yasiel Puig, he's a head case, man. There's a reason no one signed him. Like the dude's crazy, and also he has some. I don't want to get too into this because I don't think it's my place to really talk about it. He has some, has like a big sexual assault allegation against him, which
It's not. It's a big no-no.
yeah, which definitely hurt him. But yeah, don't want to get into that. But no, Yasiel Puig's not in need. We already have 2 good corner outfielders. I want to sign a center fielder and maybe a depth guy who can maybe like a Marwin Gonzalez who can play both the infield and the outfield. Because
Yeah.
don't forget, you could also sign like a backup second baseman, and if anything happens in the outfield, you move McNeil out to the outfield. So right now it's just no, these big corner outfielders, unless they're going to be cool going on the bench, like Hunter Renfro was released. I'd be kind of
What
interested.
happened?
Yeah, dude, Rays never usually don't make bad moves, but man, that trade blew up in their face, which they did get a good prospect out of it. So I'm curious to see how he's going to do. But, Cronenworth was supposed to be a throwaway, and he turned out to be a very good player. And then
Oh yeah.
Tommy Pham, which I hope he's all right, man, because I know he got like stabbed outside like a nightclub or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
he's doing all right, man. But yeah, so I think the Mets, besides Bauer and Real Muto. I've talked about how George Springer isn't a good fit, like at all, because he's got 1 year left. And George Springer's a great player, but he's got 1 to 2 years left in center field, and then he's moving over right. We don't need more corner outfielders. We don't need corner outfielders playing center field. Cough, cough, Brandon Nimmo, Michael Conforto. So I think Jackie Bradley Jr. would be an interesting signing. Or we talked about in a previous video, trading for a guy. I'd rather, sign someone so you don't have to give up, that prospect capital. So, yeah. But I like Jackie Bradley Jr. a lot. I think we need another right-hand bat in the lineup. That's my only issue. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're pretty lefty-heavy. So
who was the other name we were talking about?
Ian Happ, Whit Merrifield, and there's one more.
I like the Whit Merrifield idea.
Yeah.
Kind of like a righty Jeff McNeil.
He is like a righty Jeff McNeil. He's a bit older, but he also, he plays second base and the outfield. But he can play center field too. And he's a great athlete. He can steal bases too.
Just great versatility. Top of the order bat.
Yeah.
Middle of the order, perhaps.
Yeah, my only issue with him is his age, but I was talking with Mets fans only about, JT Realmuto, the concerns of signing him too long, about like how he might break down. Both these guys are such great athletes that like I wouldn't be too concerned. Like with JT Realmuto, as long as his hitting doesn't go to shit and his defense isn't too bad. Like he's so fast and such a great athlete that like, catchers have their collapse. I see it happening a lot later for him.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to segue to the most overrated and underrated players from every Major League Baseball team. Just to clarify, overrated does not mean you're bad. We're going to get
just means
shit.
People hype you up way more than they should.
Yeah. So that's what overrated means. Underrated is, the opposite. You're not talked about enough for being, the way you play. So I arranged this instead of going by division. We're going to go alphabetically. So we're going to start with
okay.
I'll just call it the team name, and then you could find it. So I'll go first just so you could find who you wrote. All right, so Arizona Diamondbacks, it pains me to say this. I think I have to go Madison Bumgarner. It's a pretty underrated It's a pretty underrated team. There's not really that many guys. If he was still on the team, I would have said Archie Bradley. It seems like, he gets a little more hype than he's actually deserving of. I think he's a decent pitcher, but he's kind of known for hitting a triple in the playoffs, which is crazy for a reliever, but Mad Bum just had a really bad year. I think he can bounce back.
That's an understatement. I don't
man.
know,
He had an awful year, and his velocity was shot.
Yeah.
He was throwing like 89-mile-an-hour fastballs. I saw a stat that like, I know I always say compare guys to good Mets players, but DeGrom threw a faster slider than Mad Bum's fastball. That's kind of an issue. So I love Mad Bum, but I think except for when he, is a little baby and yells at guys for bat flipping. But
or just hitting home runs in general.
Yeah, he can be a little baby sometime, but yeah, I think Mad Bum's slightly a little overrated.
All right. What I'm gonna try to do is try to give a player that you didn't name, just so we can,
Ooh, yeah.
Give it some more diversity.
You could always say you agree or whatever. But,
I do agree with you. Yeah. He would be my next choice, but I'm gonna go with Ketel Marte here.
Yeah.
Because super down year, and he had one breakout season last year. But other than that, we haven't seen much from him. So Mad Bum, I think, would be the superior pick. However, we do need to take into fact that Ketel Marte was just not good this year.
I think he only hit like 2 home runs or something. Yeah. Like, people are calling him. I think he's probably still a top 50 player in the game, lower 50s, just because, that one good year was so great. But, he was in Seattle, struggling too, and, came to Arizona, struggled a bit. I think that version is definitely the player he is, and he's also, has good versatility, second base, center field, which is great. But yeah, slightly a bit overrated. But also, disappointing at the same time. It's just
very disappointing.
It's just he's had more bad years than good, so you don't really know which player is the actual guy. There's always a lot of 1-year wonders. So yeah, Atlanta Braves. This guy's actually a free agent right now, but my God, Tyler Flowers is overrated. I don't know. that's kind of a weird name to think of, but I've gone on Instagram and people call this guy a top 10 catcher. No
What?
joke. Yeah, because
No.
yes, because I guess his framing metrics are really good. He's a
Yeah,
below
yeah,
average
that's it.
below average hitter with the worst arm I've ever seen. Um, yeah, and I try to explain this to guys. They've signed catchers the last 2 years. They signed Brian McCann to be the starting catcher. They signed Travis d'Arnaud to be a starting catcher as a backup catcher, a top 10 catcher in the game, unless it's like James McCann, who's a starting catcher. He just got replaced because it's Yasmani Grandal. So, yeah, Tyler Flowers is insanely
What the
overrated.
hell? I've
Yeah, I don't.
never heard that.
Yeah,
That's
go on
horrible.
Instagram. I got so much shit for being like, yeah, Tyler Flowers sucks, man.
Yeah, he does. Fuck
So, yeah.
framing. What good is framing if you can't throw the ball?
And he can't hit. And framing's important, but yeah, and he's getting up there in age. His framing is definitely gonna. I wouldn't say decrease, but his athleticism's gonna decrease. He's not a
She'll
starting
probably
catcher.
bring it down a bit, at
Yeah, he's
least.
not a starting catcher, and people call this guy a top 10 catcher, which I don't know if they do anymore, but that's crazy. Who do
That
you say for the
no way.
Braves?
The Braves are a pretty hard team to, underrate or overrate because most of them are pretty good. I gotta go with Dansby Swanson just because
Yeah,
of the past, and his second half this year just wasn't that good.
yeah. I consider Dansby Swanson or Austin Riley. Those guys, like people think
Yeah,
they're like
yeah.
they pencil them as a definite starter. I'm like, you can definitely upgrade there. Like,
hmm
Dansby's a nice player, great glove. But he was a number one overall pick. Like, we were talking about the draft before. He's
Super hyped.
yeah,
Super hyped.
yeah. He's not a top shortstop. And some guys, talk about him just being like, he's a solid ball player, but I don't think he's anything really special. So I like that pick a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Baltimore Orioles. I went, there's not that many overrated, underrated, but because this
Yeah.
guy had, such a good year last year, people calling him a top shortstop, Jose Iglesias. Um, it seems kind of a fluke. He's always been a glove guy who can, you can take what you get with the bat, and he had a very high OPS, but he still didn't really hit that many extra base hits. It didn't hit
Yeah,
that
it was
much
just all
power.
batting average.
Yeah, and he benefited from playing in a pretty hitter friendly park too.
Mhm.
So I don't think this is the player Jose Iglesias is. It was definitely a good signing for him. It worked out well. Um, but yeah, there's not really many guys to pick from. Like, who are you going to pick? Chris Davis, because everyone knows he's trash. It's just his contract's big. Um, yeah, who do you pick?
I personally went with John Means just because he was
Yeah,
an
that's a
all-star
good
in
pick.
2019 and was just had such a rough start to the season. I think he
Yeah.
had an ERA over 9 through his first 5 starts or so. So, yikes.
Yeah, there's another player that I'm gonna address the whole, he's overrated because he makes all-star teams, because basically all-star teams means that, it's definitely a little bit of value into your resume, but it basically means that you were good in the first half. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean you were good in the second half. So yeah.
hmm
Um Red Sox, I went with Rafael Devers just because guys wanted to call him he's a good player, but a very good hitter. Down here last year, but Red Sox fans want to tell me he's a top 10 third baseman when he can't field to save his life. Um, a Red Sox fan told me they have the best left side infield in the league. I guess he's never heard
uh,
of the Rockies or the Athletics or the Astros, which I hate the Astros, but I think their left side's better. I think. Who else? Doesn't really
I
matter,
mean,
but
with the bat, you could make the case for it.
no, yeah, they're definitely up there, but not the best.
No, because they can't field the ball for
Neither of
shit
them. Yeah,
whatsoever.
neither of them.
Bogarts is even worse.
Yeah, he's bad too. But yeah, Rafael Devers, great player. And this is an example of a great player, just overhyped, especially by his fan base. So
hmm
yeah, who do you go with?
I went with Michael Chavis
Ooh, yeah,
because from what I've heard, Red Sox fans fucking love this man, and he hasn't really actually been productive after his first month in the bigs, which is kind of something you see a lot where you see rookies come up and they break out for good 2, 3 weeks. And then pitchers figure out how to pitch to them and then they suck.
Yeah, he's more
And
of like
that's
a
what I think
he's more of like a platoon guy, right?
he is now because he couldn't hit
Right.
or field. He's not good in the field.
Yeah, was he first base or second base or plays both,
Uh,
right?
all over the place.
Right. I went for another Michael for the White Sox. This guy's a great player, but Michael Kopech, I just think he's
Mhm.
well known. He's kind of famous because he like dated or he's married to the person from like Riverdale or some, stupid shit like that. So I went with him. There's not that many, it's a lot of under the radar players on this team.
Yeah,
A lot of, well hyped players like, Tim Anderson. Like at first I thought he was a bit overrated because he had one good year, but he really, proved
he
that
backed
he's a
it up this
stud.
year.
He
There's
he
nothing to
completely
say
backed it up.
anymore.
Yeah, he backed it up. And they just, they got studs for days on that team. So, Michael Kopech's good. He just hasn't really been playing much. He opted out. He got Tommy John. I think he'll be a very good pitcher one day. I just think it's because he's like famous outside of baseball. I kind of had to
Mhm.
go with him, but this one's it's kind of slim. They don't really have a specifically super overrated player.
Yeah, I ran into that problem too, but I ended up going with Eddie Encarnacion
Yeah,
because it's a stretch though. It's not a great pick because
I don't
we
know
all
if
know
he's.
he's aging.
Yeah, I think people like aren't surprised. It's just kind of a wild card signing. Like either he puts up similar numbers or he sucks. Like
Yeah.
people aren't gonna be like, oh man, Edwin Encarnacion. So yeah, uh, going to the other side of Chicago, I went with Javier Baez. Just
Ooh.
he's been kind of inconsistent the past couple years. I think he's a great player, but he's so hyped up because he's so flashy.
Mhm.
MLB is always hyping him up. Oh, El Mago this, El Mago that. He does the swipe tags and the flashy plays in the field, but his swing gives him he swings and misses so much. Um,
Doesn't walk either.
doesn't walk at all. So I like Javi Baez. He's probably a borderline top 5 shortstop. I'd have him
He's
probably
so fun to
outside
watch.
my top 5. Yeah, great player. Just I wouldn't. I don't think he's the best player on the team. He might be, but yeah, I went with Javier Baez.
All right, so I was thinking Javi Baez, but to
I know
diversify,
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna go with
say.
Craig Kimbrell.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Wilson Contreras.
I don't think there's enough evidence yet, because that's the reason why I didn't pick Baez. I don't like basing, a player's success based on one shortened season. So
Right.
the reason why it's different with Ketel Marte or someone like that is that they've only had one good year and
Exactly.
haven't necessarily backed it up yet. Whereas
Mhm.
Contreras and Baez have both, in my mind, backed up
Yeah.
they have solidified themselves. Whereas Craig Kimbrell is
Oh,
coming
he's
off his
terrible.
second just absolute dog shit
Nightmare.
year
Yeah.
and is probably gonna retire sooner than later.
Yeah. I don't know who would want him after this. So it's not like a guy you can come in and pitch to one batter out like obviously
Hmm.
with 3 batter minimum. They're gonna hit a home run against him.
Yeah.
I think I told you about it. This guy made 2 YouTube videos called Craig Kimmel Sucks, and and with the Cardinals game with Yachty and Paul DeYoung went back to back.
Yachty of all people.
Yeah, it was like the Cubs took the lead in that game, and then it was like, good work, boys. Now time to get that save. Hope I don't blow it. And you know what happened. You know what happened. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna move on to Cleveland Indians. My God, Roberto Perez. People acted like this guy's a top 10 catcher because he had one, I guess, a slightly average year. He had an OPS plus below 100, so he's a league average hitter. Um, Great in the field, but he's useless at the plate. Um, I went between him and what's the other defensive catcher they got from the Padres?
Oh,
Austin
Austin Hedges.
Hedges. Yeah, they're basically the same player.
Yeah.
So I went between those two.
Hmm.
They had like 3 of the definition of defensive catchers. They had them two and then Sandy Leon last year. But
Like, why the fuck did you trade for Austin Hedges? What?
well, I guess he was like a throw-in the trade.
Oh, okay. Still though, why
Yeah,
would you want him?
I don't know. Depth, who knows? But yeah,
Depth for who?
I think both. I've seen both these guys called top 10 catchers because they're good, defensively. Which we've talked about. catcher's probably the most important position to have good defense, but it still doesn't make you.
You still need to hit.
You still need to hit. Like, the only position that doesn't need to hit is a pitcher because they shouldn't hit. So yeah, Roberto Perez super overrated.
For me, the Indians kind of like, or I should say the Spiders. My bad. I had to say Francisco
the Cleveland
Lindor
baseball
here.
Team.
Yeah, the Cleveland baseball team.
There you go.
But Lindor isn't like a bad player whatsoever. I still think he's the top 5, maybe. Yeah, top 5 shortstop. And the reason why I'm thinking he's a bit overrated this year is he's like a super huge name on the trade market. However, he only had a 750 OPS last year, which is definitely like worth noting. So I think a 1-year rental of Lindor shouldn't be the biggest name on the trade market at the moment because he just wasn't good last year.
Well, I think it's the opportunity to re-sign him after that. I still think he's the best shortstop in the game. I think the only guy who gives him competition is Trevor Story. But I think you kind of have to take last year with a bit of a grain of salt. So yeah, I think Lindor is still probably the best shortstop in the game. I could see where you're going there. I definitely think.
Yeah, this one was a stretch too.
There aren't that many. You wanted to go with a different player than me. There aren't that many options on the Indians because they play in a smaller market. They don't have that, especially in their outfield. They don't have a lot of talent out there. So yeah. Moving on to the Rockies, I went with John Gray. He's kind of just been hyped up as a guy with great stuff with no results. Kind of like hint my next pick. But it's tough. To pitch in Colorado. But I've seen so there's a guy who writes for CBS Sports who Draft Neck Mark made a video of the worst top 100 list you've ever seen, and he said John Gray was better than Clayton Kershaw. I'll stop there.
Oh, I saw that list. I flipped my shit.
I'll stop there. Who's your most overrated player?
Good God. Chuck Natsy, and the only reason I'm saying this is because he won a fucking Gold Glove.
No, he didn't win it, but he was his finalist.
He was a contender.
Yeah.
And he cooled off severely. So,
was it
I don't know.
This year or last year where he started out hitting like 400 something?
Yeah, and then he cooled down to what, 310? 300?
Yeah. That's not 400 something.
Well, you have to consider the fact that he was at 400 through what, 30 games. To fall from 4 something to 300 exactly on the nose, that takes quite a slump.
Yeah.
So obviously I still think he's an elite hitter, but the fact that he was in Gold Glove contention, what?
Yeah.
What?
All right, so Detroit Tigers, this is probably the easiest pick. Matthew Boyd. People act like this guy's good. He's terrible. He's so bad.
Well, how did he? I don't even get it.
Like the Tigers were so bad in 2019. I posted on my Instagram. Do the Tigers have any good players? And guys were like, yeah, Miguel Cabrera 5 years ago, and Matthew Boyd when he had a 4 ERA that year. That's not good.
4.5, 4.6.
Yeah, especially
he wasn't even good.
No, he's pitches in Detroit too. If you can't pitch in Detroit, you can't pitch anywhere else.
He's a fly ball pitcher, and he has so much space.
Yeah. If you can't, and he gives up a shit ton of home runs. If you can't pitch in Detroit, you can't pitch pretty much anywhere. And I see he has potential, whatever.
The strikeout stuff is there.
Yeah, he was horrific last year. Matthew Boyd isn't good, man. Unless he puts up a solid year, especially in Detroit, then you need to prove me wrong. So yeah, who do you say?
I mean, I don't see how anyone could really pick anybody here but Matt Boyd. But I'll just say I'll throw in Miguel Cabrera because there's probably a bunch of casual fans who consider him to be one of the elite players when he's not an elite player anymore.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't been great for a while now, so I think people have calmed down on him. But
Matt Boyd's obviously the clear pick here. There's really nothing else to say.
Yeah. Astros, it's kind of hard to pick, but Josh Reddick, because I've talked about this, he's out of place because I remember watching the World Series and then you're on a team with a bunch of studs and then, at the strongest position in the game, the position that has the most talent, right field, freaking there comes Josh Reddick, and on a team with a bunch of superstars. Yeah, everyone hates him too, but because he's an asshole, he's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
looks like
but
one too.
but yeah, not a good hitter. Like he's a singles hitter with a great glove. And people, especially he had that one really good year when they signed him. I wonder why. But and he was all right with Oakland in the past, but yeah, not a great player.
No. I'm gonna go with Carlos Correa because he had last year outside the postseason he had a 326 on base and a 383 slugging.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean, I wonder where those good seasons were derived. Is he a good hitter? It's not. It's debatable at this point.
Yeah,
We haven't seen him hit without cheating.
I think the playoffs, but that I don't want to defend the guy. Another good pick for the Astros, I think, would be Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah, he was my next choice. Yeah.
So yeah, Royals. I went with Jorge Soler just because people are calling him a top right fielder, which that's not even the position he plays, but because he hit like 50 home runs, 1 year, and he's a
And
solid
then
player.
fall off.
Yeah, he didn't really necessarily fall off, but he's not an elite player,
No,
and he's not like a top DH in the league.
I completely
It's
forgot he existed, honestly.
yeah, it's tough to pick an overrated player in Kansas City when you don't really have anyone. Maybe if Alex Gordon was still playing, just because the hype he used to have, but
Yeah.
their good players are great and their bad players suck. Like, I don't have to tell you Whit Merrifield, Hunter Dozier, and Salvador Perez are good players. I don't have to tell
Yeah.
you that Bubba Starling is garbage. Like,
What? What?
and they
That
actually have
is incorrect.
All right, who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with Danny Duffy because I watched some like lists and videos from creators about predicting awards and stuff. Up until the 2019 season, Danny Duffy was apparently the Royals' best chance at any award, as he was apparently in Cy Young contention. What?
Yeah, no.
That
He's a
what?
solid arm, but
No,
no. Yeah,
he's below average.
yeah. So yeah, no. All right, Angels. I went with Hansel Robles because he had like one good year, and people think that's the pitcher he is. I'm a Mets fan. I can't stand the guy. He'd always point to the sky right after he threw a pitch when it was going out. It's actually impressive. He'd throw the pitch once like the ball made contact, point up to the sky, and it would be a home run. It's impressive. But I wrote down this for you. He had a 10 ERA last year.
Oh my God.
I'll stop there. Who's your pick?
Wow. I'm going with the obvious pick of Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, come on. I mean, until he can actually hit and throw decent strikes off the mound, he's
He's been
still going to
able
be the
to.
most.
He's been able to hit.
Yeah,
But
but I want to
also
see that combination.
you
I
want to see
mean,
both. Yeah,
yeah, that's what makes him overrated.
that's a good pick. Dodgers. It was kind of tough to find one. I guess I went with Enrique Hernandez just because, they are very high on him. They put him as their starting second baseman a lot. I don't really think he's a starting caliber player, so
No.
that's why I went with him.
I went with Jock Peterson just
Yeah,
because he couldn't really hit last year. Big trade talk kind of guy.
yeah, and he's kind of more of a platoon, like only hit against righties.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's known for.
Yes, I think I'm gonna say we're gonna go a bit quicker on some of these guys where there isn't much to talk about. But the Marlins, there really isn't anyone. So I went with Jorge Alfaro just because I don't know why I picked him, to be honest. I thought about Jordan Yamamoto because he had a 20 ERA last year, but yeah,
Wow.
no one's really, I don't see anyone talking about it. No one really talks about any of these guys, but because he was, Jorge Alfaro was a trade target.
Yeah.
But he's known, I don't even know if he's overrated, but it's the Marlins. There's not really anyone to pick. So
hmm
like who did you pick?
I went with Starling Marte, and I'm fairly confident in this choice. He is not a star caliber player in my mind. if we look at his like OPSs over the last couple of years, he's right around league average at best.
Yeah,
So
there were Mets rumors for him where we'd have to give up like Brandon Nimmo, Dom Smith, guys like that. I thought,
he's not
I
that good.
yeah, no, he's a starter, but not not a star. No,
Mm,
I think he's a solid ball player. But yeah, I don't hate that pick. Brewers, I want Daniel Vogelback. He's had like one good half, and he's can't hit for average at all. Hits for a little bit of power, but not much. He's been DFA'd like twice. Yeah, he's not good at all.
all right, I went with Abasayu Garcia because he sucked last year and he's only really had two at or above major league average
Yeah,
seasons.
like 1 year with the Rays. Yeah.
Hmm. So I'm fairly confident in that pick. Bam.
All right. So who's next? The Twins. I talked about our All-Star games. Jose Barrios. People call him a top pitcher because he's made the All-Star game a couple times, but and then he falls off in the second half.
Yeah,
That's kind of all I have to
and
say.
he wasn't great this year either.
No, he's not an ace. He's a three, in my opinion. Maybe a
Oof.
two. Maybe he's a two, but
Yeah,
he's not an ace.
I'm going with Mitch Garver
Oh, that's a good
because
pick.
yeah, one good year and he sucks again. I
Yeah,
don't see
that
a
was such
future
a
with
good
Mitch
year
Garver.
though. But
It
yeah,
was so good.
they luckily have Ryan Jeffers. It looked like he's gonna take over,
Hmm.
unless Garver can figure it out, which is possible. But
Yeah,
we
but I
don't
mean,
want these guys to suck. But
no.
oh, this one's a mic drop moment. I'm holding my mic. I'm about to drop it.
Oh shit.
Most overrated player on the New York Yankees, Aaron Judge. I'm sorry, this guy's not a
Wicka
top
wicka
10. This guy's
what?
not a top 10 player in the game. Talent wise, yes, can't stay on the field, strikes out a ton, can't stay on the field. That's kind of all I have to say. Uh,
Damn.
he's definitely a star. Guys tell me he's better than Freddie Freeman. Guys tell me he's better than Nolan Arenado, which is crazy.
I mean, when he's actually playing, I think
He
he's
doesn't play.
definitely
He doesn't
better than
play.
Nolan Arenado.
Okay, well he doesn't play, but
Well, yeah.
but yeah, no, he's definitely one of the faces of baseball because of the market he plays in and because of the
Hmm.
potential he has and because of
Yeah.
his 2017. But that was 3 years ago at this point. I don't think he's bad. I think he's a very good player, but I think he's overrated.
All right. I respect it.
All right, who's the most overrated player on your New York Yankees?
Kind of hurt, hearing that whole rant, but
Is he
we
your
move
favorite
on.
player on the team or
Oh fuck no, no
who
way,
is?
DJ.
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear, Brian
Oh
Cashman, you
man.
better
Oh, we
bring
got
him
to make it
back.
happen.
Tears will be shed.
I don't want him going to DC, but I see it happening because I hate the Nationals, but I also love him leaving the Yankees. That would move. That would
No,
be fun.
that'd be a very rough day for yours truly.
All right. Who's your most overrated player on the Yankees?
Miguel Andujar. He's not good. Get him out of here. Ship him off while he still has a teeny bit of trade value.
He really
One
doesn't
good
have trade
year.
value, yeah. Because he can't play third, he can't play left, he can't play first. Like I don't get how these young guys start their career like a Jordan Alvarez. How do you start your career at a DH? Like you still have like legs. Like those players have no value at all. Well, not no value. You have very limited value, but yeah, I would trade him before
It's
he
too
has no
late,
value. At the
and
same
it's
time,
almost too
though,
late.
I think maybe it would be smart to get his value up just because he had such a
Well,
good year his rookie
that's
year.
the only thing. We don't know if his value is going to go back up. I don't think it will.
Yeah, yeah,
You could also say Gary Sanchez here.
yeah. I think people have kind of come to terms that he's not very good, but
Yeah.
in the past I would have gone with Gary Sanchez. I think
Hmm.
Yankee fans. I've heard Yankee fans very high on Mike Ford for some reason. Mike Ford's terrible, but
He was good in 2019.
yeah, for like half. He only played like a little bit.
He's good off the bench,
Yeah,
is what should be said. He's not a
fair.
starting first baseman.
Fair. All right, my New York Mets. I went with Marcus Stroman, just because I went to camp in Canada and a bunch of Blue Jays fans act like this guy's the best pitcher on earth.
Well, I mean, that's the only pitcher they've ever heard of.
If he was on the team, I would have gone with Aaron Sanchez. My God, one good year, those guys. Oh, Aaron Sanchez.
Josh Donaldson, he's still on the Blue Jays, right?
Yeah, 3 teams later. But yeah, no, I like Stroman. I think Boomer Esiason was talking about how it's ridiculous to pay 18.5 to your 4th starter, which I hate that argument. I think a good pitcher is a good pitcher, but I think Marcus Stroman's a good pitcher, but he's kind of known. He's kind of a star because of his
off-field personalities.
He's got a great personality. He's recruiting guys, which I like to see. He has his clothing line. He has has a rap song, or he had a feature on These Days. And what else does he do? Oh yeah, the whole timing gimmick with him, and the whole his on-field celebrations, which I like, on-field celebrations.
Oh, I love on-field celebrations.
Yeah, I like them from pitchers too, not just bat flips. But I think Marcus Stroman's overrated. All right, who are you saying on my New York Mets is overrated?
JD Davis. He was solid, but I mean, you hold him very highly to your heart. He's had really just one high-caliber offensive year. He can't play defense.
He's improved.
He's just but I mean,
he's definitely improved.
He's not
isn't really
like
saying
a star.
Much. Yeah, no, I think he is a star caliber bat. I'm pretty sure who said it. Yu Darvish said it was the hardest hitter he's ever faced.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, but no, I thought you were gonna say Brandon Nimmo. From Mets fans, I would say Brandon Nimmo. League wide, I would say Marcus Stroman. And I like these players, obviously, but yeah. From the A's, I went with Chris Davis. Chris with a K. Just hasn't really been good for a while. Is that who you said?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. There really isn't that many other options. Who else are you going to pick? Mike Fiers, Steven Piscotty. Guys don't really think these guys are that good. But yeah, Chris Davis, you could go with him if you want. It's just he's a home run hitter who hasn't been hitting home runs recently.
Over the last 2 seasons, as a matter of fact. And I think, do we think it's time to retire the both Crush Davis's legacies?
Yeah.
Oof, that's sad. But I think you're right there. I would have to agree. Crush Davis is no more. All that is left is Chris.
Yeah, he's also useless in the field.
Oh, yeah, we already know that. Chris Davis, the other one, actually can field at first, so
Yeah, it's first base, though. He hits he went 0 for 53, though. Who cares?
I kind of hope K. Davis really declines even more so then we can actually get into debates about which one is better.
Worse?
Yeah.
Worse. That's funny. All right, I guess we just go to the next team because there's not really anyone else to pick. For the Phillies, I went with Gene Segura. I just don't think he's a very great player. He's a solid player, but I think you could do a lot better.
Yeah.
Than Gene Segura, but yeah, not too much to say there.
I'm going with Jake Arrieta just because the Phillies are paying him $25 million a year.
Yeah, he's a free agent now, but yeah. By the way, we're including guys like Tyler Flowers. We're including guys that are free agents now who played with the team. But yeah, Jake Arrieta is I can't stand the guy, and he's fallen off a ton.
Yeah.
He's kind of I'd call him a 1-year wonder with that 1 year with Chicago because he was garbage in Baltimore and then sucked again in Philly. So, San Diego. Oh no, Pittsburgh. Oh, this one.
Oh, the Drunken Pirates.
Pittsburgh Pirates. Why is Cole Tucker's name mentioned? This dude has a career 500 OPS. I think this guy, was he big on the internet or something?
He's like a gamer or something. Or no, his brother is also a major leaguer or minor leaguer.
He got drafted last year. I know the Talking Baseball dudes are tight with him. I don't know why I've heard of him because he's like a backup shortstop center fielder.
At best.
Has a 500 something OPS. I think it's because he's buddies with Cody Bellinger or something. I have no clue. Another guy I picked two here. I couldn't. Josh Bell. Oh my god.
Fucking damn it.
Yeah. Oh, that's your pick. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
You
so
say
happy. I thought that he was going to be like the only person mentioned, and then he said Cole Tucker, and I was so happy.
Oh, Josh Bell is outrageously overrated. He's had
It's
I'll
horrible.
let you go, but I have to say this one thing. He's had one good half, not one good year. 2019 first half, amazing.
Facts.
After that, sucked. And I've seen like
Before that,
before that sucked. I've seen like trade proposals for Josh Bell, getting a haul
What?
for him. Like Josh Bell is not that kind of player. He's not a top 10 first baseman whatsoever.
No.
He's at borderline, top 20. I don't even know if I'd put him that high. Josh Bell isn't very, and he also can't field at all.
Nope. He sucks in every aspect.
Yeah.
Can't run.
Nope.
I don't know. Does he have a good arm? Who the fuck cares?
Who
It's
cares?
first base.
First base, yeah.
Overrated as hell.
My God. It's crazy that these two guys are so overrated because they're both playing Pittsburgh and like who cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna move on to the Padres. I went with Chris Paddock just because I don't know if he's, an ace caliber player. I think he's a good pitcher, but kind of had a down year. There's not really many overrated guys in San Diego. I would have gone with Eric Hosmer in the past, but he actually hit really well.
I know. It's so hard.
He hit really well last year, and I think before that, people kind of started to realize he wasn't very good, and now people are realizing that he's actually good now.
Yeah.
But it's a great team. It's kind of hard to pick an overrated player.
That's what I can't bring myself to pick anyone. Honestly, there's no one there.
So yeah, I don't think Chris Paddock is overrated, kind of like Jorge Alfaro, but I think he's the most overrated player. So,
yeah.
San Francisco Giants, Brandon Crawford. Giants fans act like this guy's good. He can field well.
He's a top 5 shortstop.
Yeah, he can field well. Can't hit a lick. He's terrible. Not much to say there. Who do you pick?
Good pick. Buster Posey, because there's still a lot of casual baseball fans who think he's like the face of baseball, and that's just unacceptable.
Yeah, he didn't even play last year, and
nope.
He got his replacement, Joey Bart. He's gonna be good.
He's gonna be a stud.
Yeah. Mariners, D. Strange Gordon. He's terrible. He's just awful. Can't hit a lick. He's got speed, and that's it. He had his 1 good year on steroids with the Marlins,
and he was still skinny as fuck.
Yeah, he was still tiny. So yeah, D. Strange Gordon, not great. It's kind of hard to pick a guy.
Too.
Ha ha ha.
Get it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick a guy from Seattle because they're such an under the radar team.
I kind of cheated here. I gotta go. I know he's on the Brewers, but I'm going with Vogel Daddy.
Oh, wow.
I fucking love this man, but he can't hit.
Yeah,
and he's not good.
Here's my Brewers pick, but yeah, that's fair because he did play for the Mariners last year. He also played for
that's
the Blue
where
Jays
he's overrated.
Too. Yeah.
One at bat with the Blue Jays.
Right.
He walked in it, so it was a successful career, I guess.
Good shit, man.
Yeah.
St. Louis Cardinals, Matt Carpenter, because he had a good half, or he was super streaky. I think 2019, 2018. It was 2018, and he's famous for the whole salsa thing. I don't even know.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I heard about it somewhere. I think it was some home, whatever.
He's good at making salsa.
Yeah, I think. I have no clue.
What?
Man. I don't forget I said that.
All right.
But Matt Carpenter's just not great. His swing's really weird too. I don't really like it.
Oh, his stance, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It looks so painful.
It does. Who'd you pick?
I'm going with a similar pick to Buster Posey. Very similar. Yachty, yeah. Because, again, casual baseball fans and Cardinal
Yankees
fans
might get him.
Yeah, I would honestly, I'd rather have Higashioka.
He could bring him in, teach Gary how to catch.
I don't think anyone's teaching Gary how to catch.
You hired a
They've
good
had
catcher's coach.
4 coaches now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. But I was considering that pick, but yeah. This next one pains me because I really like watching this player, but the most overrated player on the Rays is Tyler Glasnow.
Oh,
Um,
thank God you said that.
yeah, he's the one of the nastiest pitchers I've ever seen, but he doesn't really get the results.
Yeah, and people still act like he does get the results, but he really doesn't.
Yeah, it's just tough. I love Tyler Glass now. It's just tough with him because he's kind of a two-pitch pitcher as a starter, which doesn't tend to work. I don't think I would move him to the bullpen because he has so much starter potential.
Mhm.
Because that curveball, man, god damn, it's
Oof.
good. But yeah, I like Tyler Glass now. I just wish he didn't give up the home runs. I wish he got the results because I think he was my Cy Young pick last year because he's just like he
That
was
would be
so
a
good.
great projection. I mean,
Yeah, he was so good before getting hurt last year. So
yeah.
yeah. But I love Tyler Glass now. It's definitely a pick that hurts me,
Hmm.
but he's definitely slightly a bit overrated.
Oh, more than slightly.
Yeah.
This man hasn't really since 2019. He had one good 60 inning
I'd also
season, and
maybe put Blake Snell in that. Like Blake Snell's great
oh,
too,
that's a
but
great segue.
oh, that's yours.
Yes, my Steve Irwin killer most overrated player is Blake Snell.
He's
Cause
a he's
oh,
good. He's very good, especially in the World Series before getting pulled. 2018, one of the best seasons I've ever seen from a starting pitcher. Um, he was phenomenal that year, but he's been hurt a bit, been a bit inconsistent.
all right.
Um,
Well, here are some numbers I think you should
oh,
hear.
okay, yeah, bring it on, man.
In 2019, he had a 4.29 ERA, which
Yeah,
is
not good.
pretty average.
Yeah,
And
mediocre.
then this is the real kicker for me. He averaged around 4 batters, or no, 4 innings and 2 batters into a start, innings per start, I would like to call it, in 2019, and only 4.5 innings pitched per start in 2020. So that
Yeah,
means he's not working. He's rarely working out of the fifth inning as a starter.
yeah. Now, part of that is definitely,
The
they
Rays
want
bullpen.
injuries and the Kevin Cash effect, where he wants to go. No, Kevin Cash is great. They also have a great bullpen, so they want to, they don't, the whole analytics thing there. They don't want to go through the third time, which I think is stupid. I hate it. But they got a great bullpen. That's part of it. Also on he had like an elbow injury or something, so they want to watch that. They're shopping him right now. I've seen a couple of you know, potential trades where I've thought it's a little too much. Like people are asking a little too much for him, but he's a solid player, just slightly a bit overrated.
Yeah,
I think
he doesn't really look like an ace to me.
people see that 2018 how good he was.
Hmm.
Um, So yeah, most overrated player on the Texas Rangers pains me, but I think Joey Gallo's a little bit overrated, just because he's such a legend in like MLB The Show, because he hits tanks and whatever.
Not
I think
anymore. That's only in like the beginning of the year.
yeah,
I
and
can't hit shit with him.
yeah, at the beginning of 2019, he was actually playing really well. He actually wasn't hitting for super low average. He also plays this insanely good outfield, which is, for a big guy like him,
Crazy
which
good
is pretty,
arm.
yeah, great arm too. He's a little inconsistent at the plate.
Yeah.
And I've heard his trade, heard him in trade talks, and you're giving up way too much for him. I think
Hmm.
he should be traded. I think the Texas Rangers need to go full rebuild. But
Him and
who
Lynn need to go.
him and who?
Lynn.
Yeah, definitely. Who'd you say for the Rangers?
I went with what I went with old Rudy Odor.
Yeah, I thought about him or Elvis Andrews. Those guys were also guys I
Oh,
was
Elvis would
considering.
be a great pick here.
Yeah, yeah. Ruben Odor is not good anymore. Hits home runs, but that's kind of
He
it.
never really even was that good.
Yeah, he got like a big contract from them too.
It's stupid.
I guess you want to retain your homegrown guys, but yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah. Not too much to say about him. Blue Jays, Vlad Guerrero Jr. My God, when
oh
he
yeah.
first came up, Blue Jays fans told me, and friends of mine who are Blue Jays fans, like I told you about with Marcus Stroman and Aaron Sanchez, um, they said this guy is a future MVP, which he has. Actually, that's not too big of a hot take if he hits that potential. But my God, after Alonso won the home run derby, I was in Canada, so I heard, oh, he didn't actually win it. Oh, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Oh, he cheated. Like Alonso didn't win it.
I actually have to agree with them there. Are you kidding me? He had the greatest home run derby in the history
Okay,
of
yes.
baseball.
So did Josh Hamilton. He didn't win it. If it can be good, but if that you're saying that Pete Alonso didn't deserve to win it, that's crazy.
Yeah. Vladdy Jr. had a better home run derby than Pete Alonso.
Yeah, but also think about this: Pete Alonso, because he was seated higher, Pete Alonso went after him, so he didn't have to bat until Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit the stand, went first. So then Alonso, all he had to do was get one more than it. You don't know that if he could hit, more than him.
That is a good point. However, I just don't think Pete Alonso would go off like that, to be completely honest.
That's fair. I do. I love my boy Big Meat Pete. You know that.
Oh, I know you love Big Meat Pete.
He's my favorite player in baseball. So it's him and DeGrom are tied actually. But yeah. So yeah, Vlad Guerrero Jr. can't. He's a first baseman too. Can't play third at all, as much as he said he wants to. I see a big year coming out of him because I know he
The advanced metrics love him. He hits the ball really hard.
Yeah, I know he lost a lot of weight. He just hits the ball on the ground a ton. So
yep,
I think
that's Eric Hosmer's problem.
Right.
That was an easy fix.
Yeah, increase.
Well, I shouldn't say easy because he sucked for so long. But yeah, launch angle.
Yep.
Once he figures that out, that's when he's going to reach that stud potential.
Yep. All right, who did you go with?
I mean, there's really no one else to pick but Vladdy Jr.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I can't even think of any.
Before the season, I would have given it to Hyun-Jin Ryu just because he had like one good year, but he actually pitched really well again. So
he's had quite a couple good years, actually.
Yeah,
it's just injury plagued.
Injuries, yeah, exactly.
Which doesn't make sense because the guy throws like, what, 88, 89?
Yeah, he does not throw hard at all.
Noodle arm.
Yeah. Nationals, not many guys to pick. I went with Victor Robles just because I don't think he's the top 10 center fielder like guys are calling him. He has he has all the potential in the world. Great fielder, just kind of struggles at the plate.
Do you see that double play he made last year? Oh my God.
Missile, a bazooka arm. So yeah.
Looking like Laureano.
Yeah. So not really much to say there. Solid player. I think he has potential. He was a top prospect at one point. So we got the two Robleses. We got Hansel and Victor.
Oh wow, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Crazy dog.
Yeah, man.
I'm going with Starlin Castro because this man isn't good. He's never really been that good, but people still think he's good.
Yeah.
I don't really.
He gets a lot of hits, yeah.
Yeah, none for extra bases, and he doesn't even bat super high for someone who gets a lot of hits.
That's true, yeah.
He just plays for a lot of big market teams and gets a lot of at-bats.
Yeah. He's got good versatility, but yeah, I don't think he's a very great player. I think you definitely have to upgrade there. So I'm going to save the underrated for next time because, I don't know, so we can go a little more in depth. But, yeah, no voicemail segment this time, 585-622-4391. What?
Wait a minute. We forgot about the Reds.
Oh, no, we didn't. Oh, my God, I skipped it. I went with, oh, my God. I went with Nick Senzel just because he's a top prospect who hasn't really been amazing. And, I see him in trade talks like, oh, he's the big piece you're going to have to give up. I think he's a solid player, but
he hasn't necessarily been that guy yet.
He's kind of that top prospect yet to figure it out.
I went with Aristides Aquino.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Because he was super hyped, especially when he came up. And after that first month, as I was saying earlier.
That first month was crazy.
Oh, my God. It was spectacular.
Yeah, the Punisher.
Well,
wacky batting stance, too.
Oh, that one is it's similar to Matt Carpenter's almost, but I fucking love it so much more.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah. It's super easy to hit from too, because I like trying out, major league stances that look funny.
Yeah.
I can't do anything with Matt Carpenter's because you're leaning backwards.
Yeah,
Aristides just make you feel so.
And he just starts leaning backwards and then to wind up, I guess. Yeah, man. Good thing you caught that. I realized we didn't talk about the Reds, but
Sorry, Reds fans. We're
yeah,
just
I
saving the
skipped
best for
over it on my
last.
notes. You can blame me. Oh yeah, yeah, best for last, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No voicemails this week. Please call in 585-622-4391. We need more than just Jacob Carpenter. If you guys want, Jacob to call back in, leave a like on the video. Uh Subscribe to the channel and comment stuff. And comment that you subscribed. We'll shout you out because we need subscribers. Yeah.
Oh, big facts.
Big bags. Um anyways, that was episode 8 of Big Apple Baseball Banter. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next time.
See ya.